Welcome back to the Realtor Diaries podcast. My name is Elijah McGowan, and with me as always is
Kim Jacobi with the Jacobi team of Century 21. We're your go-to Northern California realtors.
Yes, and today's topic is casinos, conventions, and Century 21. Just to keep the alliteration moving. Of course, it's Century 21.
Yes.
But, what we're really doing today is chatting about a recent corporate convention that was held at a casino.
That's right. Yeah, we went to Reno, to the Pepper Mill.
Yes.
Was it last week or the week before?
It was last week.
Oh my gosh, remember. That is insane.
Because yesterday I woke up, and it was Thursday, and I had to be back in Chico on Thursday, so I didn't sleep Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
I stayed up all night, and it wasn't very difficult with everything going on Wednesday night. But stayed up all night, then I drove back. I was back at 9 in the morning, and
that's insane. I would have died.
I felt so inspired, and I haven't said this out loud, but when we were sitting there, and we'll probably give context in a moment.
Yes.
But we were sitting there, and there was a main stage, and people getting their awards and accolades, and I felt really jealous.
Yeah.
I was kind of jealous.
Yeah.
I was and it wasn't. I don't think it was it wasn't I deserve this,
right,
or I should be up there. It was more dang, I would really like to be in their position.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know where it came from. I'm normally not an envious guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really my sin. I suppose that's not my vice. Is not
one
envy.
Of your deadly sins.
No.
7 deadly sins.
No, it's not something I tend to
I know,
experience.
Yeah.
But a lot of envy going around that night, for me at least.
I know it's I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
When you're in a job or any kind of endeavor that you're doing, and there's awards given out.
Yeah.
If you're not one of the recipients, it's more it, like you said, it inspires you.
Yeah.
So okay, someday I'm gonna be the one getting that award.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I want it.
Yeah.
And that's the envy is I want that award. I want to be on that stage.
Yeah.
But like you said,
it's not coming from a hateful place,
right,
or anything.
And you're not I deserve it more than them.
No. It's just I want it.
Yeah.
Which
that's great.
Yeah.
They do that on purpose.
Yeah, definitely. And this was my second ever select group convention.
Yeah. So for those of you watching,
yes,
every year, gosh, I've been with this company 11 years.
Century 21.
Yeah.
Well, Century 21, were you a part of it when it was a select group the whole time?
Yeah. So when I joined in 2014, we were Century 21 Jeffries Leiden.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Dan Jacobi had just acquired us.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
you were select group the whole way.
Yeah. Yep. So we go to all of the select group companies, and that includes some Coldwell bankers.
Yeah.
We all converge into Reno for a 3-day conference in May.
Yep, called the Select Summit.
Yeah, and this year there was about 700 people in attendance.
Yeah.
And there's basically Monday is golf tournament, bowling tournament, poker tournament.
Yeah, all fun stuff on Monday.
Yeah. And then Tuesday is the event kicks off in the main huge room, right after lunch.
Yeah, they have some pre-session classes. Yep. That they run it before for the people who are up bright and early.
Right.
And then they have a kickoff.
Yep.
Right after lunch.
And then a couple of classes, breakouts, that you can choose which to go to.
Which, super awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then there's, in one of the larger rooms off of the main room, there's a vendor area where, how many vendors would you say were there? 30?
30, probably. That sounds pretty close to the number. And, half of them were owned by Select Group.
I know, yeah.
Which is really it's interesting from being a realtor and walking around. It's oh, you guys help me do my job.
Yeah.
And also from a business standpoint, it's really cool to like be a huge conglomerate in that way, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's really smart business. Dan Jacuzzi, the owner and CEO of the Select
Yeah,
Group,
president and CEO.
very smart guy.
I actually want to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's breakout sessions both days.
Right.
But you got to be on the new agent panel this year.
Yes.
Which I did not go to. I wasn't a part. Well, last year I was told it was for people who went through Select Academy that year. And so that's the general crowd that you got.
Yeah.
How was that? How was your panel? Did it go well?
Yeah, it was great. There was 5 of us up front, and I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
There was the what do you call it? The moderator, the lady in charge of asking the questions.
Was it Jody this time? I thought it was Jody last time.
It was. I don't remember.
How could you?
I know.
We need a lot of people.
She was like a branch manager for another Select office.
Yeah.
But she had a list, front and back, typed questions.
Oh, okay.
And there was only 45 minutes to this class.
Yeah.
We got through 4 questions.
Yeah, you went really in depth.
How much we all talked.
There were 5 of you.
And everybody wanted to talk.
Every question.
For 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 questions. That works out.
It went really well. In fact, one of the questions had to do with, how do you get listings? How did you get your first listing?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And while we were chatting, while I was answering it, I was led to kind of just explain to the new agents out in the audience that I have that our team has this checklist of things that we do before we even list, all the way through listing, escrow, and then after close.
Yes.
And I said, if you write down your email address on a piece of paper and leave it on your table, I'll pick it up after the class and email you guys our checklist.
Yeah.
I had 20.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it felt really good to be able to share that.
Another tool in the tool belt.
Yeah. I think it'll be helpful for them.
It's pretty cool. Well, I'm glad that it went well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the education portion is definitely it's one of the main reasons to go. Because you get to be in person to these classes, which is a totally different experience to being on a webinar.
Yeah.
But you also get to kind of refresh yourself on what the company's doing. And I mean, a big part of that is during the actual,
the main session?
The main session is what it's called, rather than breakout. But the second day was pretty cool because we had a main session. And Dan, the president and CEO, does the State of Select, which you said was really good. Last year I was a brand new realtor and a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like I picked up as much as I did this year. But this year it was awesome.
Right.
Especially,
it's like State of the Union, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That the president does every year. He does the State of Select.
Yes.
And he gives us stats about how the company is doing.
Exactly. And how much, where our commissions are going, because we pay a portion of our commissions.
Yeah, I literally had a pie chart up on the big screen.
He was like, yeah, we mostly paid wages this year.
Yeah.
And I thought we talked about this right before we started recording, but it was really interesting to see that, we lost money as a real estate services company. That's what the Select Group is.
Not that much though compared to
exactly
he shared what other
shared what I think similar companies were doing, and there was 5 similar companies that I don't remember the names of, but I know they ranged in losses. There were no profits shown across the board,
right? But
in losses they ranged from $46 million to up to nearly $400 million lost,
right,
in providing real estate services.
And we were at $2 million loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2024, I don't think it's any surprise to any realtors watching our podcast, but it was pretty much not a profitable year for any brokerages last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly because of the high interest rates.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to buy when the cost of money's high.
With the high interest rates, historically, they're regular, but compared to what we were all used to. But let's get back to talking about the conference. So we had the breakout classes, which this year, a lot of them, that focused on like tools training, specific
Quite a few
tools, AI, using AI in our businesses.
Yeah, those are probably the two main topics that different breakout sessions did. And of course, I went to a couple of those, but they also have some repeat people who come by.
Yep.
You were manning the room of one of my favorite guys, Brett Matsura.
Yeah.
Great class.
That was the magnetic agent.
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of gives just generally like how to be a better realtor, how to make more money.
Yeah, and like and up to date stats on how people choose their realtor, like based on what criteria and what is it, and why people are buying or selling at any point in time.
Yeah, very helpful information.
It's very enlightening every year.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Right. Every year.
Every year. Hopefully he's back a third year, and then I can really feel like I'm an expert on Britt Mitzer's class.
Yeah, some of the other breakout classes, I know Emmett had gone to a 1031 exchange class.
Yes.
And he said that was fantastic. Yeah. He learned a lot about what you can do in a 1031 exchange.
Which didn't know before.
Yeah.
But you can, it's interesting how much business you can make happen by just like knowing that a little bit more.
Yep.
Because
you're like, oh wow, this is a whole nother way I could get more transactions or help more people.
Yeah. Like someone might be sitting on a piece of property and not even know and be not selling for a reason. And you have a way to solve their problem. And then, I mean, when we talked about it, we can learn all these things, but the implementation is where you'll hit a couple of hiccups. Because you either learn to do it well with no money, or you spend some money to make it more convenient to do.
That's right.
Which is how everything is.
Yes. I mean, it's totally, in order to make money in real estate, you either have to just put up a lot of sweat equity, a lot.
Which door knocking, we started doing this year.
Open houses, research, or you spend lots of money to, like you said, make it more convenient, more efficient. But everything costs money or time. So.
That will always be true.
Yeah. So besides the education and the speakers, what else are conventions about?
They're about having fun.
That's right. So, we've mentioned it's at the Peppermill, which is a casino in Reno.
Yes, the Peppermill Resort and Casino.
Yeah.
Great time. I didn't get a massage this time, unfortunately.
Oh, you got a massage last year?
Oh, I've always look at their spa section.
Oh, nice.
I'm like ready to press the button, and then I don't because I know I'll be busy.
Yeah.
But
and I just think like, oh, that just costs more money.
Exactly. And they have a few really good restaurants and of course the casino, but we really get to take advantage of it because we're seeing all the people that work with us but not around us. Is how I'll say it. And that's something I enjoyed both years. Like it's been great.
Networking.
The networking portion has been phenomenal.
Yes.
And I mean, the first night at the Top 100 party.
Yeah.
Joining the Jacobi team, I got to go. It was great.
So that was held in the nightclub at the Peppermill, which you have to go to this restaurant that they have there, and you go take the elevator up. And it was fun. The DJ was really good.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. And there was a theme this year, which was the
Kentucky Derby.
That's right. So we had to dress up like we were at the Kentucky Derby.
A lot of big hats. Probably not as big as you see at the Derby, but it was fun, definitely.
Yeah.
And just dancing the night away. Really good food. I was told not to expect much of the food at the Top 100 party, but I mean, I feasted.
Well, maybe you're a little less picky than
That's true.
others.
That's true. I am not very picky. But no, it was super fun, and it was nice to feel like really connected.
Yeah.
Like it's just a big community.
Yeah.
And one person, Eric Hatch, he said he's already given out a referral from someone he met at Summit. And I'm like, that's always super nice to be able to bring business to the people you just met.
That's so awesome.
Like that's a blessing of sorts, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I specifically every year.
Every year.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that every time. The people from Grass Valley, I seem to really click with them. Like they're always really awesome.
Yeah.
And there was a specific group from New Mexico and Montana. They were like some people brand new to the company.
Yeah.
super great to meet them. And
That's awesome.
I love that they were able to go. Apparently they had their brokerages bought like virtually, like over Zoom,
Yeah.
which is not something that Dan normally does.
Right.
He's usually in the field there.
Right.
But apparently they wanted them to come to Summit, and so they did it more quickly than would normally be the case.
So then the last night of the convention is the big gala dinner.
Yeah.
And that's where the awards are given out, what kind of awards are given out? Like top agent in volume, top agent in number of units sold, right, from last year. Top commercial agent.
Yeah.
Then they have the Prestige Award, which is amazing. It's 21 years of being awarded the Centurion Award, and to get a Centurion Award as a realtor, you have to sell an incredible amount of real estate
in that level,
that year,
and that amount increases every year. Yeah, the amount of real estate you have to do to get the award increases.
So 21 years in a row of getting a Centurion Award, and you get this Prestige Award.
Yeah, and that's Century 21 specific, right? The Centurion is, but then our company is like, here's an honor on top of that.
But the thing, so this year, so I know if you're made it this far and listening or watching, you're like, okay, when's she going to start talking about giving some dirt here on the because conventions, there's always something that goes on.
Absolutely.
There's alcohol involved a little,
or a lot,
or just anyways. So normally at the gala in years past, it would doors would open at, let's just say 6:30, and then you'd come, you'd sit, you'd mingle, talk, go to the bar, get some drinks, and then the awards, the parade
would start to happen
like 30 minutes later.
Yes.
Well, so this year, I thought I had all the time in the world to get down to the gala, and the Jacobi team was going to get to be in the parade, and this is where you basically march through the crowd, and it's just like this line of maybe 100 realtors.
It's based on how much production you did.
Yeah, how much volume you sold the previous year, and you had to have sold. I think the minimum to be in the parade was either 5 million in volume or 7. Was it 3?
I thought it was 3 because there were a couple levels in front of us.
Yeah. So, so then you just you get to march across the stage, and and you're waving this blinky thing,
like wands, they're like color wands,
blinks, and they have fireworks going off and loud music, and
it's really fun.
Yeah. So
I had a great time.
We were gonna meet, and the Jacobi team was gonna get to march across stage together in this line. Well, we were 40 minutes late.
The parade started right on time. And so I'm standing in the where people are prepping to go walk out.
Yeah.
And I'm texting them where are you guys at? Where's my team? What's happening? And then I have to go out and ask Linda. I'm like, how much production did you do?
No.
She's like, go to the parade. I'm like, I don't know how much production we did. She's like, 10 million, go to the blue section. I'm like, okay. I go to our section. And we start marching. I'm like, okay, I guess I represent the Jacobi team here.
Yes, yep.
And
then Emmett and I rolled in.
We go and get an awesome photo. A killer photo of me on the stage. It was really good.
It is. It looks like professional.
Yeah, and it was taken by an agent in our office who was just standing at the stage doing photos. And it was
That's
great.
Awesome.
I love that picture. But no, my team wasn't there, unfortunately.
That's okay. You got to experience it.
Yes, and my seat was stolen.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so I was like, dang.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. I would have loved you guys to be there. But
it felt horrible. It took me 15 or 20 minutes to get over how bad I felt.
I could tell. I was like, I'm not.
I walk in and I'm like, what? We missed it?
Over and
Oh my gosh. Anyways. So that was that. And then traditionally, once the dinner part's over, then they literally wheel out these carts with fireball shots.
Just covered of like 100 per cart, and there's 3 carts. And they just keep refilling.
Yeah. So they wheel out the carts, and it's that's when the party starts, and they have the DJ and the dance floor. And
a lot of people leave.
Yeah, a lot of people leave, but I would say there was 100 people on the dance floor.
At least until like 11.
Yeah.
Like they were dancing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yep. So fun times to be had.
Definitely. It was really good, and I will hopefully be going next year.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be going next year.
But the last dirt I'll give here is, let's just say at some point that night, we found ourselves with some other people in one of the restaurants late at night.
Yeah, we were all there.
Having potatoes, hash browns.
Oh, those onion rings were so
onion
good.
Rings,
We were wasted, but we were out of it.
Yeah, but good times.
No,
so,
it was really good.
We're going to share some interesting statistics about conventions and things like that, and then maybe share a little bit about the select group in our news section. So
stick around.
And now it's time for the news. So with this topic of casinos, conventions, and Country 21, I was thinking, would it be interesting to find out, well, okay, when did conventions start, like in American culture?
Oh, really?
Like when did that whole thing start?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so turns out in the 1970s was when they began constructing large convention centers.
Like specifically for these kinds of events.
Conventions,
okay.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until the 90s that casinos started getting into the convention world and adding huge ballrooms and things like that.
Yeah, because I guess they would have to construct the areas where they would host those events.
Yeah. But I found it interesting at how gigantic some of these convention centers are.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in Orlando, Florida, there's a convention center that has 2.1 million square feet of exhibit space.
Wow.
Exhibit space. Now, to put that in perspective, okay, the Chico Mall, which Chico is a town of just over 100,000 people.
Yeah.
So, we've got a mall, it has a JCPenney's, whatever. Yeah. But that is just barely above 500,000 square feet.
Like total mall area.
Yeah. So this would be 4 Chico malls.
Just for a convention center.
For the Orlando, Florida Convention Center. Yeah, huge.
Massive.
Right. Yeah. And I think that was there's one in Chicago, the McCormick Place, 2.6 million square feet of exhibit space.
So add another Chico Mall.
It's the largest in the U.S., the one in Chicago.
Wow.
Now, the global convention, exhibit, meeting, that whole industry is a huge industry.
Absolutely.
In fact, it was a $33 billion industry last year.
Dang.
Yeah. The conference biz brings more revenue and attendance than the Major League Baseball.
Wow, okay.
More revenue and attendance than the National Football League.
Wait, really?
Yes, according to the Trade Show Network.
Yeah, but, wow.
Think about all the automakers that are here in the United States. How many people work for the auto industry?
Okay.
More people attend conventions for their industry that they work in than there are people working in the auto industry.
Is this auto conventions?
No, that was just a stat to give you perspective.
Oh.
In fact, nearly 81 million people attended conventions, conference, trade shows, or other corporate events in 2019.
Dang.
81 million people.
Is that so? That's including things like Comic-Con.
This
Probably,
is
right?
Conventions, conferences, trade shows, and other corporate and business events.
Corporate and business, so probably not the entertainment ones.
To business.
Because there is a whole host of entertainment conventions.
This is not even counting that.
Wow.
There are nearly 250,000 conventions and conferences held annually in the United States.
Dang. I believe that.
Yeah.
But it still is, 1,000 a day. Not quite. You skip weekends. 1,000 a day and you get to take the weekend off. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really, really big industry. I didn't realize just how big it was.
Yeah, and I have heard that there is. It's interesting. I've heard it must have been a podcast or something somewhere where I heard that there's like levels. It's like you have the people who organize conventions,
Yep.
and you have the people who own convention centers, or like businesses that own them.
Yep.
And then like people who speak at a lot of conventions,
That's
like
right.
motivational speakers, like because you can have any kind of speaker speak at most kinds of conventions for any reason.
Right.
Like even last year we had an educational, what did you call it? I know you organized.
Education symposium.
Education symposium. And
Yeah.
that speaker could speak at any convention.
It's funny that you bring that up because as the chair of the committee that put together this very, very mini conference, we were like, oh, let's get a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
So like an author, let's say you wanted to have an author come, a well-known author, you're looking at spending $100,000 for that author to come and speak.
What?
Yeah.
What? How?
Yeah. So we had this gal come and talk about body language.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Is that what she was paid $10,000
plus hotel,
plus travel? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, if you're a good speaker and you've written a book, you can make a lot of money.
Am I in the wrong industry?
Conventions. It's probably pretty competitive, though.
Oh my gosh. But that's amazing.
I know. Yeah, it was an eye-opener when we were planning this event. We're like, oh, who wrote that book? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. So then you Google it. And
like, how much does it cost?
What? $100,000 to come and speak for a couple hours?
And you're still paying for them to travel and go hotel? Wow.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the speaker we got was amazing.
Yeah.
Which, I guess, $10,000 gets you something great.
Yep.
Her speech has, like, affected my life since.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like, I still use similar, I guess, tactics or whatever. I still use tips, tactics, habits that I've built from that speech. I use them almost every day.
Yeah, that, in case you didn't catch me saying what she talked about body language and how to read body language, and how to portray body language to others.
Even like gender specific tips, things like that. A lot. And
it helps in relationships and in meeting new people, helping them to feel comfortable around you.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's really cool. And now we're going to shift gears. You've learned a lot about conventions, but what do you know about the select group of companies?
That's right. Well, I mean, they put on this amazing convention that probably costs a handful of $100,000.
Yeah, probably.
$300,000 maybe.
And I mean, Dan Jacobi is our president and CEO.
And yes, jacuzzi. Like
the tub.
My grandfather invented the jacuzzi.
Yeah, which is awesome.
But he has shared many times, you know, then you think, oh, well, he comes from money. No, he did not inherit the jacuzzi wealth.
Yes.
He did not. He started as a real estate agent and built his business from scratch.
Yeah, and he established a select group of real estate companies in 1980. And he's owned it ever since. And he started in Yuba City, so about, what was that, 90 minutes south of us?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Or no, it's only 45 minutes.
Yeah, halfway to Sacramento.
Halfway to Sacramento from Chico.
Yeah, and over the last 25 years, or 45 years, not 25, he's done a lot and kind of like built it up into like the select group of real estate services company instead of like just being real estate.
Yeah, because we're a franchise.
Yes.
So anybody can say, I want to open my own Century 21. And, you know, you pay the Century 21 franchise fee.
And you get access to like corporate tools and
the brand, of course.
Yeah, and different benefits.
Yeah.
But what he has kind of dedicated himself to doing is providing more for the franchises he owns.
That's right.
And so, like, he's established a whole suite of tools. The select group includes Stanford Mortgage, which operates in all 50 states.
Yep.
And, I mean, a host of other things. Let's look at this. 1980, he established it, bought the first one in Yuba City. In 95, they acquired Stanford Mortgage. 6 years later, they acquired county title of El Dorado County, but they never expanded the title side of things.
Yeah.
And you had a theory.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, they also brought on a brokerage at the same time, and it was kind of a paired thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like they owned both and wouldn't want to just keep one. Yeah. That would make sense. But I mean, they still do business, and Intercounty Title was at the convention. Yeah. They're very tied into everything. Yep. Despite being maybe a side benefit.
Yeah.
And we'll skip forward 11 years. 2012, we expanded into Nevada. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, that's relatively recent in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, and we'll get to, I'm at the left side of my sheet of paper. The right side is all the 2020s. Yeah. So when we skip to the 2020s, 2020, they got Olympia Mortgage and Investment Company, which is, they tout that they get, I think, a minimum of 8% return for their investors. Pretty good return. Yeah. And in just 2020, they acquired 3 Sacramento offices, which now the Select Group owns all of the Century 21 offices in the Sacramento area. Yes. 2021. Oh, excuse me. What was it? Empire Properties in Orland. So that kind of expanded into another county. Mm-hmm. 2022. Central and Northern California offices, Century 21 M&M, which... That was a big one. Yeah. Because that was several offices. It was like another franchise owner had owned, several, and then Dan bought all of those. Yeah, and he had already bought some M&M offices from Sacramento, which was established that connection and allowed him to pretty much buy the rest of the franchise. Yeah. 2023, Coldwell Banker Mountain Properties, which was Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Idaho. That's amazing. And we expanded to so many more states right before I joined. 2024, Century 21 Epic, which means I probably didn't have to move away from Mendocino and Lake County. But we're so glad you did. Yes, I'm happy I moved to Chico. But those are offices in Lake and Sonoma counties, wine country, all that stuff. Really, it's really cool to drive that road back to Ukiah, California, where I'm from. So beautiful. And it's always great to drive that. And now I passed by a Century 21 office that is the same franchise as me. Yeah. And it's always kind of cool passing through Kelseyville. Kelseyville. I'm like, oh, I work there, kind of. Yeah, you could. You literally could go in that office. I could go in that office. And, can I use your printer? Exactly. And then this year, they expanded in Colorado. They, what is it? The Coldwell Banker CNC Properties, our local one, Butte, Tehama, and Shasta counties acquired that, and they acquired more Coldwell Banker franchises in Montana. Yeah. Which I would love to hear the story of how that happened, but it was awesome to see those people at the convention. Yeah. And I mean, Select Group has done a lot. For sure. Much for tuning in today. We definitely talked a lot about our company. Yeah, you can tell we're happy. Yes, and learned a lot. But we will catch you next time.